Welcome everyone to Neverwinter on PC. My name is Rainer and today we're going to take a closer look at the Mod 13 weapons. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, and if you'd like to see more informational videos about Neverwinter, hit the subscribe button. The topics for today are: first, we're going to take at the looks of the four, well they're actually five, but we're going to look at the four new weapon sets. And then we're going to look at what these weapon sets actually do. We're going to look at the Pioneer set, the Pilgrim set, the Tyrant set, and the Primal set. The Pioneer set you can get from the Omu currency that you get all over the map from basically every quest that you do on the map. They're very easy to get. So these will be used on many alts, I guess. Then you have the Pilgrim set. The Pilgrim set you can get by making a Zen purchase, or actually two, to get these. The Tyrant set you can get from hunts. This will probably be the hardest one to get, unless you don't want to spend Zen, of course. And there's also the Primal set, which you can buy with Seals of the Brave. If you run Tomb of the Nine Gods a lot, also pretty easy to get. The fifth set that there is the Stronghold set. It's basically the same set bonus as the Stronghold sets from before. You get it from Masterwork of Master Crafting, and it's basically not for DPS classes, it's more for support classes, because you don't need to wear the Stronghold weapon yourself to get the bonus, which is not in the description, but it is as it works. The descriptions are not correct anyway, we're going to find out later. Also in these weapons it's not correct. Also, before we go, we're going to start, right now there is a discount of 80% on character slots. If you have watched my AD farming video, you will have heard me say that having many character slots is very good for AD farming. This is your opportunity to get as many slots as you can. 80% off, more you will never get. So it's only 100 Zen. I cannot show you that here because the Zen store doesn't work on preview. But it's only 100 Zen for 2 character slots. That's 50,000 AD on PC. So let's start off with the looks. I have taken off my armor a little bit so that the armor enchantment is not in the way. Let's start with the Pioneer set. Change appearance. Here you can see the Pioneer bow. It's like a wooden bow with some metal details in it. It's not bad. And these are the melee weapons. 2 of these metal weapons. So these are the Pioneer ones. Can I do it like this? Oh yeah, I can. This bow looks the same. Okay. Yeah. So now we're at the Pilgrim weapons, the ones you buy with Zen. Very different. It's very bony. It looks a lot like some hunter's bow. Like old-fashioned hunters. And the melee weapons are also very bony. So a little bit leather bone weapon. Alright, let's go to the third one. Let's move these again. Third one is the Tyrant set. Change appearance. Tyrant set from the hunts, also bony. A little bit more gray than the Pilgrim set, but it looks a lot like it. little bit of pink details on it. And the melee weapons actually also look quite similar to the Pilgrim set. They just look like a reskin actually. Wait. They even look almost the same here. Oh, wrong. Yeah, this one even have the same strap. So this is just a reskin. These are completely the same. And then we have the Primal set from the Seal of the Brave. And this is another different set, also with bones and wood. Looks like it's from some sort of clan. Some nice details. And the axes, tiny axes. Hands are clipping through. Nice. So that's how the weapons look. I could also show you them in action, but it's the same thing as you've seen before. So now that we've covered the looks of the weapons, I want to talk about the weapon sets. First of all, we're going to look at the Primal set. The Primal set is, the weapon set is very simple. You just get a flat bonus. When you're solo, you get 200 power, which is basically nothing. It's really lackluster if you're alone. In a party of 5, it's not that bad, but it's definitely one of the it's definitely not the best of the 4. It also doesn't give you a buff icon here up here. So yeah, this is basically it. You can read what it gives you down there. Party of 1, 200 power, party of 2, etc. In a dungeon, this one is at its best. So yeah, pioneer weapons, not very special. Don't need to show you this in combat because it's nothing happens. Then we come to the Pilgrim weapon set, and it says at the start of combat, your damage and outgoing healing will be increased by 1% for every enemy you faced when starting combat, to a maximum of 10% for 10 seconds. If facing one enemy at the start of combat, your damage and outgoing healing will be increased by 5% for 1 minute. When you kill an enemy, this buff will refresh. And that's an interesting addition. So every time an enemy dies, this buff will recalculate. So if you're fighting 5 enemies at the start, you get 5% bonus. When one of them dies, your bonus will drop to 4%. Until you have one enemy, then the buff goes to 5%. That doesn't seem to be a cooldown, but let me show you what I mean. It's a little bit laggy because of the new recording. So we have 3 enemies here. So this is the buff icon for this weapon. As you can see, it's 4 seconds remaining for this buff. When I kill an enemy, okay, a couple of enemies are killed, which means this buff is reset to 10 seconds. So it basically stays during the whole combat. It doesn't really go away because you will always be fighting. And now, as you can see, I'm only fighting one enemy. So I will have, I'm fighting 101. Okay, this is strange. What I've seen is the buff doesn't always refresh. Also, I've talked on this in the forum, but there's a bug. I can throw this rain of arrows on 4 enemies and only one of them is hit. The other ones are full health. I really hope they fix that, because it's going to be very, very bad on the live server. If that's going to be a thing. Alright, so I have a buff again, 10 seconds. And if one dies now, I should have a buff for 1 minute. Exactly. So every time you kill an enemy, this buff should reset, but sometimes it does not work. So the description is actually a bit weird. So it says if you're facing only one enemy at the start of combat, your damage and outgoing healing will be increased by 5%. But it's not only at the start of combat. It's also in the middle of a whole fight. If you're if all but one enemy is dead, you will also get this 5%. I didn't change the I didn't check the percentages, by the way, but I guess they get that right at least. I'm going to take their word on that. Okay. So that's I guess everything for the Pilgrim weapons. They are better than they seem in the description, because the bonus refreshes all the time. Why am I... what in the hell? Okay, my Pilgrim weapon set is freaking out now. Let's go back. And then we're going to get to... well, actually, I'm going to do the Pilgrim weapon set first, and I will let you know later on why I chose this one first. So this is the Primal set. You get this from the Seal of the Brave. So also pretty easy to get. The bonus says if you are hit or healed for more than 10% of your maximum hit points in a single blow, your damage and outgoing healing will be increased by 10% for 10 seconds. So this is why I took a healer, a battlefield medic, because I need this thing to proc. Also, I will remove some of my gear so these guys can actually hit me. Okay. Cannot take off gear in combat. For some reason my battlefield medic took a fight with these guys also. Alright, let's take off this gear. And this one also. So that I have as little as hit points as possible. So these guys can hit me for hard enough. Or I can get healed. Okay, here I got hit. And this is the icon for this buff. It lasts for 10 seconds. And it also works if your companion heals you. You will also get this buff. Lifesteal does not work. I tested it and it does not give you the buff. Sadly. It would make it great for solo play. People do not work with a healer companion typically, and most of the time enemies do not hit you for 10% of your health. Maybe on the more difficult maps, but typically no. So they seem to be pretty nice, but only if lifesteal would work, and it does not. So that leaves us with the last weapon set. the Tyrant weapon set, and this one is actually, it's broken, to be honest. So it says, at the start of combat, your damage, healing, and damage resistance is increased by 1%. For every 15 seconds you are in combat, these increase by 1%. These increases are doubled if affected by a Trophy Hunter buff. So the Trophy Hunter buff I cannot test because I don't have that item. But what I can show you, so we're going into combat now, and here you can see the buff. Oh, I think I need to remove my companion because he's killing it. But as you can see, I'm at 4, 3, 4, 5. After 5 seconds, you will get another stack, not the 15 seconds that it says. Which makes a big difference. Also, another thing that makes it broken, if I kill these enemies, I'm not in combat anymore. But the buff stays. This is the only weapon set that does that. And I can go to the next one, and the buff will continue counting up. If you're out of combat for 10 seconds, 10 whole seconds, this buff will disappear. So this means that if you have this weapon set, you will basically always have the 10% buff. See, now it disappeared. If I go into combat again, it starts again at 1. But who is going to be out of combat for 10 seconds? Usually nobody. Alright, and now, let me see. Yeah, and now the reason why I wanted to do this one last, and this is super stupid actually. Let's say I take, okay, these want to be annoying. Let's say I take this weapon set now. Oh, I cannot. Why is my... Okay, now I take the Pilgrim weapon set. So I am not equipping the Tyrant weapon set anymore. I still have the buff, by the way. Which is also weird, because if I would continue fighting now, the buff will continue counting up. I'm at 9 stacks. Now I also have the Pilgrim buff and 10 stacks. It doesn't go away. But, and let me show you this. I will wait now until the buff elapses. So it's still... Why am I in combat? Okay, let's fight someone. What is my companion doing? Alright. So, finally, I'm out of combat. We're going to wait until this buff is gone. So now it's gone. Once again, I'm not wearing the Tyrant set anymore. I'm wearing the Pilgrim set. But if I go into combat again, look at my buffs. What? Oh, here it is. I'm getting the Pilgrim buff and also the Tyrannical Charge buff. What? What? And of course it takes 10 seconds to get removed, so I can continue fighting. This is definitely broken. This will be fixed. But yeah, what I notice is if I lock out and back in, this bug will disappear. But yeah, very interesting. If you want to have a 20% buff, use these two weapons. Well, at least Pilgrim doesn't give 10% easily. So, that's all I have to say about these weapons. For me, the Tyrant set is definitely the best one. Not only because it's bugged, but because it gives you a permanent 10% buff after 50 seconds and not 150 seconds, because these give you a stack every 5 seconds and not the 15 seconds that it says. And on top of it, it's also bugged. I guess that will be fixed, but who knows? Yeah, this will definitely be fixed. This is so stupid. Anyway, that's all I have to say about these weapons. If you have any remarks on this video or any suggestions on what to investigate next, feel free to leave a comment below, and don't forget to subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and see you in the next video.